free, 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 $20. Guys and girls, Nintendo has been conditioning you, me, and every Bob, Eric, and Judy from the very beginning that Animal Crossing New Horizons updates should be free. We know it, we love it, we expect it. But in today's video, I'm here to tell you why that might be changing, and much sooner than you may think. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Smile! It is almost the sunny season. Summer is 1 month away, and I am so ready to play. This video, I think your feathers might be ruffled, so grab some cocoa, okay? Maybe even get a donut. I'm a healthy guy, but you might need it for this one, because I don't know how you're gonna feel about what I'm about to tell you, but it's important to discuss, because New Horizons, it's changing. That is a fact. Smash that like button if you want another Animal Crossing update. If you don't want this party to be over, hit that like thumbs up, and then let me know in the comments down below if you would be willing to pay 20 big ones. Now, where does this come from? Where does this originate? Zach, what are you even talking about? Life is expensive. That's just a fact. And it's going to be even more expensive if Nintendo decides to release a paid expansion for Animal Crossing New Horizons. But thankfully, I've got a remedy, because today's video is brought to you by Prize Rebel, a fantastic, easy way to earn extra cash and gift cards. You can take some surveys, watch some videos, play some games, and earn super cool stuff like an Amazon gift card, a PayPal gift card, and even a Nintendo eShop gift card to pick up all those upcoming Switch titles. Now, the best part is this fits into your daily routine, and it doesn't take too much time. I've been using Prize Rebel while I wait for Animal Crossing to load, and that adds up to a lot of waiting around, but now I'm making magic happen, and I'm grabbing extra money. So make sure to click the link in the description down below right now. That's your ticket to sign up. It's a super easy, fast process, and every time you click, it helps support the channel and helps you make that extra moolah. And I think all of you are gonna enjoy something that's quick, that works, and that helps you get more of what you want. Now, y'all know my bread and butter is data, logic, facts, figures, research, and history. And I've been digging deep for this one, and I think everything is coming to a head. I think the last couple updates have been leading us down a path that is going to culminate at E3 2021. Now, what is E3? It is a big gaming show from June 12th to June 15th. And at some point during those 4 days, Nintendo will have a pretty meaty presentation. They'll definitely be announcing plans for the rest of 2021 on Switch, hopefully some of our favorite, most anticipated, rumored games, and there's a chance that they could talk about the future of Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I think that future is going to cost you. Why? Why, Zach? Why would it cost us? Every update's been free. Why would the next one be a big $20 bill, okay? Here is why. Have you noticed how the updates are decreasing in content? Have you noticed how the updates are shifting and changing from what they once were? Have you noticed that Nintendo is over here reconditioning us? As much as they've conditioned us to expect free updates, they are changing what an update is. And this has happened over the last couple of updates, okay? It began back in the beginning of the year when they introduced a very short trailer, okay? We normally had gotten 2 to 3 minute trailers that cataloged everything cool coming to Animal Crossing New Horizons. And then we got a Pave and Festival trailer that did not feature all that much. And then they introduced Mario items, which was fantastic, but remember, those were announced long ago. In fact, they were announced last September, and they finally bared fruit in March of this year. Now, they had a blog post highlighting a few new features like design slots and some holidays, but that was kind of brushed over because Sanrio was so darn exciting. They introduced the amiibo cards, and it was awesome. The full characters came to the game, brought a whole lot of furniture, and it was really freaking fun. Then, our darkest hour, the 1.10 update, which was a small blog post with no features and a few events, along with some modifications to Museum Day and May Day, which I do love May Day, I'll give them that. But they have now changed the tune. Messaging before was that, hey, a free update might include Red, Leaf, a whole new slew of items and adventures, maybe even a fun new gameplay mechanic, something that you can use every day. Dream suites, diving, the art gallery, they really went overboard to ensure that we were always getting something big. And now updates are merely just an actual update, not really an addition. They're just updating the holidays, and it feels like we've fallen into this pattern where now the holidays, yes, are going to get updates and a few nice new items, which is glorious. I love that for this game, and I love that for everyone that plays this year after year, month after month, week after week. But do you notice that they just really don't put anything substantial in anymore? I think the reason they're doing this is because they want us to now believe that a free update is an update. And if we want substantial content, we're going to have to pay for it. They've slowly weaned us off of the big updates, and they've slowly gotten us ready for this moment, which I think could very well come at E3. Now, there's a chance that they don't bring 2.0 at E3 or the next big update. There's a chance that they do very little. I mean, I think the Amiibo cards could be an E3 announcement. Series 5, which we've seen Datamine, we've talked about ad nauseum. Basically, you know, there's 100 slots, and what are they for? Probably an Amiibo card set. They got to get a whole lot of characters and, you know, bring in Audie and Raymond. That is likely. But it's also plausible that because the last update took us all the way through June, July, and even August with the events, that is covering the updates for the summer. But it would be odd if Nintendo didn't bring anything fun for an entire summer of play. This game is beloved by kids and adults alike. Everybody's having a good time, and why would they not do anything for the middle months? They're just going to go all the way till the fall time before introducing anything new? Well, they might be introducing something new, and I think it is going to be paid. I think Animal Crossing New Horizons is, surprise, done bringing you substantial content for free. I think 3 years of updates means 1 year of big content additions and 2 years of holidays getting small tweaks, a few new items, and fun flurries that will occur from time to time when they're ready to drop in a new event like Children's Day, Cheese Day, Milk Day, Egg Day, I don't know. Give me a freaking Grasshopper watches a movie day. The little worm crawls down the street and gets squashed day. That's a sad day. Maybe don't have that one. But I think the next way we're going to get actual content, KK, is going to be paid. So I look back in the history. You might say, Zach, New Leaf, that didn't cost, and they brought a big update. Because I think we kind of forget that Welcome Amiibo wasn't just Amiibo. Welcome Amiibo brought a lot of new features as well. It brought in 2 new minigames. It brought in furniture that was previously only available in Happy Home Designer. It brought in characters from other games. It brought in some new interactivity, like dancing around a campsite and sitting on rocks with villagers. It brought a lot of stuff. It even brought a new update for a secret storeroom in your house. This was a packed update, and it was completely free. So it makes you wonder, what would they have charged for Welcome Amiibo, which was effectively a way to rebrand the game, repackage the game, sell it again, and try to, get the audience to be bigger, expand the player base, and really say, hey, New Leaf is back for effectively a 2.0. But that was a different era, a different time. Nintendo didn't really participate in too much DLC back then, and this was on a handheld-only system, the 3DS. Well, since then, Nintendo has engaged heavily in DLC, and if we look to the history on Nintendo Switch, we see that all of their DLCs have cost anywhere from $20 to $30. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild expansion pack was $20. The Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC pack is $20. And the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC packs, because you're getting 2, it's $30. So Nintendo would probably settle once again on $20, unless they're going to spread this across 2 big substantial packs, like a summer and a fall. But I think it would be 1 pack for $20. And it's a bit odd, because then you're saying, whoa, I expect these updates for free. And some very detail-oriented viewers have pointed out that they always say free update. They don't just say new update, the update. It says free update. And perhaps that was a hint along the way that we would be paying at some point. Now, I have no problem paying if the content is substantial, if the content is deserving. And here's how I think it's going to go down. I bet a lot of you are panicking right now saying like, oh my God, $20, why should I have to pay when I've been getting it all for free? I don't want to pay for a new holiday. I don't want to pay for a few items. That feels unfair. I already dropped $60 and I am not doing it. Well, let me try and soothe your fear, because I think this update will have very different structure and look than any update you've experienced before. You see, there's a reason Nintendo is focusing and zeroing in on the holidays and events and items, because I don't think that this update will focus on any of those things very much at all. I think that holidays and events will stay completely out of any sort of paid content, as it would make no sense to only allow certain players to access specific days and events. This entire game focuses and thrives on the fact that people love playing it time and time again, day in, day out, all the time. And Nintendo won't want to sacrifice that, ruin that, sully that experience. I also don't think that they're going to have a heavy focus on items, because items are a great way to add juice to simple, basic updates. If we're going to have a new event, well, now you got new items and you feel a lot better about it. So what could they add, and what would they add for pay? I think it's going to be substantial, like an entire new island, like a mini game place where you get to play, or like a second type of adventure where you're traveling to a far off region occupied by maybe some OG NPCs that you've come to know and love and miss terribly, like a Cap'n or a Tortimer. But I think they got to be very careful to make sure that they don't splinter the base in a really weird way. This game is online. I can visit your island, you can visit mine, and we don't want it to get too crazy. Now, where I think this gets really dangerous is Brewster and the Roost. And when it comes to Brewster, I think this is the diciest bit. I think this is the trickiest decision Nintendo is going to have to make, maybe for the entire game. Because as we've seen from the recent data mines, it looks like things are progressing for Brewster. They're talking about cafe cameras and the cafe entrance, the museum cafe, and the idea that maybe cooking would come back. We talked about a lot of this in recent data mine videos. And so, on one hand, everyone wants Brewster so bad, he'd be the perfect headliner for a paid expansion. He'd be the perfect thing to say, hey, you want Brewster, his expanded roost, the cooking, the fun, the job, the gyroids? It is going to be the biggest piece of the expansion. And yet, at the same time, I feel like that might be a bit of a betrayal, right? Like, hey, Brewster is something we've wanted for so long, and now we have to pay for him? So, the logic in me says, Brewster is the big thing everyone wants. It's the big ticket. And if they expand on him, we trust the data mines that that's going to come to fruition. I could see that being the biggest piece. On the other hand, the logic says, no, don't mess with your fan base. Give them an NPC. You've given them NPCs before, and then utilize this expansion for content that is outside the realm of what we normally get, or even anything we've ever gotten before. So a multiplayer expansion, going to a whole new island. These things start to feel like a better pick for a paid expansion. But I also know that Nintendo sometimes does things weird, and Animal Crossing doesn't always meet expectations. And I'm 50-50 right now on if Brewster is part of the paid expansion that we think might be coming, or if Brewster is just added in later. You look how they've wound down updates. Brewster would be. You look how they've wound down updates. Are they really gonna do a huge one with Brewster for free? Are you okay if they make you pay for Brewster? I mean, you get him, we get him. But does that feel a little unfair? Please let me know in the comments how you feel specifically about this. Like, obviously, all your takes on the expansion pass, $20, 2.0 being basically for pay. But Brewster in particular, does that, like, get you at your heart? Does that, like, tug on the heartstrings? Like, I have to pay for this pigeon that I've been praying for? I don't know. I think it's the best thing to put in the expansion, and I also think it's the worst. There's a way in a world where Brewster's Roost is really big, okay, where it allows you to have a job, where they double down on that feature set and expand upon it, where your villagers come and visit, and there's a lot of new beverages and fun items, where there's more than just one room. Maybe there's a place for gyroids, but perhaps they have expanded functionality. There's another room where you can hang out and watch musical interludes from KK and his friends. I think that the only way to incorporate the Roost that it does not frustrate players is if it goes all out. If the Roost is merely a side part of the museum, that is going to feel weird to pay for. Thank you, Atoile, for finally clearing the space. I appreciate it. Goodness gracious. Trying to make a video here, okay? Now, the other element to consider here is money and business. And hey, they've done free updates, but now they know that this player base is massive, and it's ready, and it's waiting, and it's hungry. Look how fast the Sanrio cards sold out, right? Gone. It was a complete disaster of a day. It wasn't fun, but from Nintendo's perspective, wow, that was successful. And maybe they didn't plan on having an expansion pass, or maybe they did, but either way, given the extreme sales and the extreme dedication, the flourishing nature of this fantastic franchise, now there's an opportunity. There are 35, 40 million players ready for more, and many of them would pay. If we do some simple math and we say that even 10% of the players buy a $20 expansion, that would be about 3.5 million players times $20 is $70 million. Now, if you could get 20%, 140, 30%, 210, 40%, 280, and you can quickly see how this becomes a cash cow for Nintendo. Now, I think Nintendo loves its fans. I really do. I think they love the people that pay and play their games. And I think they want to try and do right by them. I think that's why the updates have been free thus far. But we can't ignore the fact that there's an entire game industry that functions, operates, and wins based on loot boxes, microtransactions, DLC, and expansion passes. And Nintendo has clearly dipped their toes in that water, and I don't think anyone is upset. I think we got good value from the Breath of the Wild expansion, good value from the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion. If Nintendo is going to say, hey, this costs, they're going to make it worth your money. So as much as I worry about how they'll handle Brewster and the Roost, I think past president says Nintendo really does appreciate its fans. Nintendo really does appreciate this franchise. And Nintendo really knows that DLC is something that they've felt dicey about before, that they've tried to really immerse themselves in, and that they are ready to continue to expand. And I think knowing AC has such a player base and that they could make 70 or 140 or $210 million, it's just a lot. That's a lot of cash. That could go towards developing the next Animal Crossing, or go towards funding the Switch Pro, or maybe go towards Metroid Prime 4, or a huge new Donkey Kong. I don't really know. But I do know that everything lines up. Everything lines up. Everything but this. Doug Bowser earlier in the year was asked about the updates and how they would continue in 2021, and he said he felt like the updates would continue as they had been. But we know that's not the case. So maybe Doug Bowser really was just using PR speak. Maybe things have changed since then, but it's quite clear, you can't argue, right, that the updates have changed. They have decreased in content and importance as the year has gone on. And while they've kept them consistent, I think that's part of the mind control. I think that's part of the misting over of the message that, hey, a free update is events, items, and a little holiday tweak. And a paid update is big content, characters, mini games, interactivity, and an awesome way to enjoy this game further by yourself and with your friends. I don't think anything quality of life will be incorporated into any sort of paid DLC because that would feel really, really cheap. Again, I think it is going to be things that are off island, and if they're on island, they are going to be very substantial. Like a better terraforming system, that's not going to be paid, okay? Batch crafting, that's not going to be paid. These are things that I don't think they will add, but if they were, those would be part of a free update. I just don't think it's going to happen. Instead, I think you're going to enter a world where there are two types of Animal Crossing updates. Ones that cost and ones that don't. And we might be right around the corner from a big, awesome opportunity. And it sounds scary, but I think it's exciting. This is our chance to really have a fleshed out, full, huge, giant update. And come on, you've got your money's worth, hands down. I know games are expensive and money is tight for pretty much everybody. This game, though, more than maybe any other in the last year and a half, has justified its price point. $60, and if you've played 100, 500, 1,000 hours, you're paying mere pennies for hours of fun. Now compare that to a movie, a $12 ticket, it's $6 per hour for a 2-hour film. I'm not saying Animal Crossing needs to nickel and dime every minute that you play, but you've got so much value out of this game. So if they do introduce a paid update, hopefully it feels optional. But I know for a lot of you, and myself included, it won't feel that way. It'll feel like we have to have it, like we can't be left behind, like we need everything there is in ACNH and we need it now. So I trust Nintendo will bring that value. They've done it thus far, and I think they'll deliver again. And hey, if you throw $20 extra at Nintendo and the developers of this awesome game, one that has united the world, brought together many new friends, families, and faces, and experienced and introduced video games to so many new demographics, people, and places, old, young, and in between, I think it's probably worth it. I know it's not the ultimate choice. We'd love to have everything free, but if this is what brings us big, bold additions to our favorite game on Switch, then I think it's a worthy price to pay. Now, Hopkins and everybody in the comments, sound off and let me know what you think about a $20 expansion. Do you think that's what's coming next? Does my logic make sense? And are you ready for it? Is your wallet ready for it? How will they handle the Brewster? That right now is my biggest conundrum. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Smash that like button if you want more AC updates and to support the channel. I love you guys. I'm working my butt off every day to make new videos, and I'm so glad we get to share it together. So thank you for being a part of my life and for making me smile. Hopefully I'm making you smile. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay awesome and positive out there. I love you guys a lot. I'll see you soon. We got a lot of stuff planned, a lot of big videos as we move our way through these months, leading up to E3, leading up to what's next for Animal Crossing New Horizons. And you know I've always got my ears, my eyes, even my nose, sniffing around, seeing what I can find to bring you the latest, the greatest, as fast as possible, and with detail and truth. Hashtag trust SwitchForce. Love you guys a lot. Until next time. Thanks again. SwitchForce. Out.